Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The federal government has said the controversial tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly were to ensure fairness, equity and justice for Nigerians. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Sawanilu, stated this at a briefing on World HIV Day. He says the bills were designed to scrap the over 50 nuisance taxes suffered by local businesses. This came on a day civil society organizations led by the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, called on the federal government to build a fair and inclusive tax system that reflects alignment of fiscal policies with equity and economic stabilization. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, has praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for implementing transformative economic reforms, which he described as yielding significant benefit. Matawalle highlighted the bill's potential to creating a fairer tax system, enhance government revenue, and simultaneously reduce financial pressures on ordinary citizens and small businesses. He stressed that the tax reforms aim to simplify the tax administration process, making it easier for individuals and businesses to comply. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has appointed the outgoing clerk of the Senate, Chinedu Akabueze, as the new chief of staff to the President of the Senate. Akabueze is retiring after serving as Senate clerk since March 4, 2022 and reaching the mandatory retirement age of 60. The National Assembly Service Commission had approved the appointment of Andrew Bunaya Nwoba as the new clerk of the Senate, effective December 11, 2024. In a move to address challenges faced by displaced persons, National Agricultural Land Development Authority (NALDA) and National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the Renewed Hope Restoration Project. The event at National Assembly Library and Resource Center was a collaboration under President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope to restore livelihoods and empower displaced communities. Executive Secretary of NALDA, Cornelius Adebayo, described the agreement as more than a legal instrument. He says it was a declaration to tackle hardship faced by refugees, migrants, and IDPs. Chairmen of the 25 local government councils in Delta State have been charged to set up task forces as required by the 2021 Delta State Livestock Breeding, Rearing and Marketing Regulation Law for its effective implementation. Executive Assistant to the Delta State Governor on Public Enlightenment, Projects and Policies, Olisa Ifeajika, gave the charge at a one-day sensitization assembly on the anti-open grazing law for the people of Ika Federal Constituency held at Agbo. He says the law needed to be implemented, hence the need to enlighten the people on the importance of the law and stress the need of Livestock Management Committee of the state and local government task force to synergize in ensuring that violators of the law face consequences for their actions. Ifeajika explored the incessant clashes between herders and farmers and assured that implementation of the law would stem the disturbing trend. President Bola Tinubu hosted German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier at the State House in Abuja as part of the German's three-day state visit in Nigeria. President Steinmeier arrived at the forecourt of the State House where President Tinubu and members of the Executive Council received him. A statement by the German embassy says President Steinmeier visit aims to deepen Nigeria-Germany relations, while he is expected to meet with the President of the Economic Community of West African States Commission, Dr. Aliyu Toure, during this visit. The House of Representatives has passed through second reading a bill seeking to amend the National Eye Center Act 2004 to provide for the establishment of more specialist eye care centers. The proposed legislation was sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Okezie Kalu, Babajimi Benson, and 5 other lawmakers at plenary. Leading the debate on its general principles, Kalu noted that the bill seeks to enhance access to qualitative eye care services across the 6 geopolitical zones of the nation. He noted that the proposed amendments seek to address the pressing need for more specialist eye care centers to cater for the growing population and address the rising cases of eye diseases in the country. Also in the news, the federal government has announced plans to develop a national policy to address bullying in schools. This is part of a broader effort to improving the nation's educational system. Minister of Education, Maruf Tunji Alausa, stated this during a press briefing in Abuja, saying the Federal Ministry of Education has held its first meeting with the principals of Federal Unity Colleges. The meeting, he says, was an opportunity to engage with the school leaders and discuss key issues in education as it focused on several key areas, including discipline, governance, and improving the quality of education. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has declared the seat of Senator Monday Okpebholo, representing Edo Central Senatorial District, vacant. This comes as Senator Okpebholo bids farewell to the 10th Senate following his election as governor of Edo State. Akpabio also asked the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct elections as soon as possible to fill the vacant seat. This move is aimed at ensuring that the people of Edo Central Senatorial District continue to have representation in the Senate. The United States Embassy in Nigeria has announced a new visa application process for immigrant visa applicants effective from January 1st, 2024. The revised procedure requires applicants with scheduled interviews to visit the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos at least twice during the application process. This was announced via the embassy's official X page, stating that the new process is designed to help applicants prepare for visa interview and to prevent significant delays in processing immigrant visa. Information on the embassy's website stated that the first visit will include an in-person document review with a consular officer. A bill seeking to amend the Universal Basic Education Commission Act has passed second reading at the Senate. The proposed amendments, which affect Section 2, 3, 7, 9, and 11, and 16 of the Act, aim to enhance early childhood education, regulate the appointment of members of the Commission, and ensure adherence to guidelines by implementing agencies. The bill also proposes an increase in funding from 2 to 5%, as well as the direct channeling of intervention funds for local government areas to their respective education sectors. The Nigerian Safety Immigration Bureau has initiated an investigation into a runway accident involving a Boeing 737-400 cargo aircraft operated by Allied Air. In a statement signed by the Director of Public Affairs and Family Assistance at NSIB, Bimbo Oladeji affirmed the Bureau's commitment to uncovering the causes of the incident. The Bureau has dispatched a specialized GO team to conduct an on-site assessment, retrieve relevant data, and interview those involved. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, said that it is committed to conducting a hitch-free 2025 Hajj operation. NACON Executive Chairman Professor Abdullahi Usman gave the assurance during a meeting with chief executives of state, Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Boards, agencies and commissions at the Hajj House in Abuja. He stressed the Commission's dedication to overcoming its challenges and repositioning Hajj operations for greater efficiency. Just as he assured the stakeholders of ongoing efforts to address the challenges of Hajj operations, urged them to put their heads together to solve the daunting challenges facing Hajj operations. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, Paris Saint-Germain playing January move for Victor Osimhen. Details of this, as well as business and foreign stories, coming right after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the midday news. In business, the federal government has declared that Nigeria's oil production, including condensates, increased by 9.9% to 1.69 million barrels per day in November 2024, up from 1.538 million barrels per day recorded in October 2024. According to the latest data released by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, an agency of the federal government, liquid crude oil production rose by 11.42%, reaching 1.48 million barrels per day in November compared to 1.33 million barrels per day in October. However, this figure remains below the production quota allocated to Nigeria by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's initiative on alternative energy source has attracted over $1 billion in direct foreign investment to the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority's Liberty in the last 17 months. The Chief Executive Officer of OGFZA, Bamanga Jada, disclosed this at a sensitization program on CNG infrastructural development at the Onne Oil and Gas Free Zones in Port Harcourt. This was just as key stakeholders in the transportation, environmental, and oil and gas sectors have said the compressed natural gas initiative of President Tinubu is one of the major drivers of industrialization. The Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is set to review issues on wholesale gas supply operations. Representing the authority's chief executive at a stakeholders meeting in Lagos, the legal advisor and secretary of NMDPR, Dr. Joseph Tolorunse, during the meeting harped on the issue of licensing and concerns related to the 0.5% levy imposed by the Midstream Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund. According to him, the meeting was held to address issues and concerns raised during the first phase of the NMDPRA sensitization program in Abuja, with the aim to reach an alignment that will enable the effective implementation of the wholesale supply operations. At the meeting, the oil producers argued the Petroleum Industry Act did not provide for them to be levy collectors. On the foreign scene, the collapse of the Assad regime has prompted a punishing military response from Israel, which has launched airstrikes at military targets across Syria and deployed ground troops both into and beyond a demilitarized buffer zone for the first time in 50 years. The Israeli military say it has struck about 480 military sites across Syria, destroying most of the country's strategic weapons stockpiles over the past 48 hours, while Defense Minister Israel Katz say the Israeli Navy had destroyed the Syrian fleet overnight, hailing the operation as a great success. In an update, the Israel Defense Forces shared footage of its forces bombing what he said were the Al-Baida and Latakia naval ports, where 15 Syrian vessels were docked. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has claimed attacks in Syria are to ensure weapons used by the Assad regime do not fall into the hands of jihadists. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM has said that Israeli forces have conducted a first withdrawal from a town in South Lebanon and were replaced by the Lebanese military under a ceasefire deal. CENTCOM say in a statement that the command's leader, General Eric Kurila, was present at the implementation and monitoring headquarters during the ongoing first Israeli Defense Forces withdrawal and Lebanese armed force replacement in Al-Kham, Lebanon, as part of the ceasefire agreement. Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati say the stationing of troops in the Kham and Majayoun areas represents a fundamental step towards strengthening the army's deployment in the south in implementation of the ceasefire decision. South Korea's Supreme Court has upheld a 2-year jail sentence for prominent opposition leader Cho Kuk for forging academic documents to secure his children's admission, to prestigious schools. Cho has been at the forefront of efforts to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol in the wake of his short-lived imposition of martial law last week, which plunged democratic South Korea into political chaos. The country's highest court say in a statement upholding a lower court's ruling that the Supreme Court finds the charges of obstruction of business and public and private document forgery against the defendant to be valid. In sports, the Swedish prosecution authority has announced that the inquiry into rape allegations against French footballer Kylian Mbappe has been closed due to a lack of sufficient evidence to proceed. This is according to multiple reports as the allegations had drawn international attention, casting a shadow over the football star's career. Reports say Mbappe, who has consistently denied the allegations, has yet to make an official statement regarding the decision. His legal team had previously emphasized his commitment to due process. World Football Governing Body FIFA has confirmed Saudi Arabia as the host of the 2034 FIFA World Cup. FIFA made the announcement at an online FIFA Congress. The Middle Eastern country has submitted the sole bid for the competition and got the nods of 200 FIFA member federations in the virtual event. Saudi Arabia's bid has attracted criticism since the country tabled the proposal in 2023, but FIFA's bid evaluation team deemed Saudi human rights concerns only medium risk. FIFA also ratified the decision to hold the 2030 World Cup across 6 countries and 3 continents, with Spain, Portugal and Morocco as joint hosts of the competition. Paris Saint-Germain will move again for Victor Osimhen when the transfer window reopens in January. The League One champions were linked with a move for the Nigeria international in the summer, but the player instead joined Turkish Super League champions Galatasaray on a season-long loan deal. The loan deal includes a 75